Hello, my name is Chris Houston.
Oh, okay.
Hello, my name is Chris Houston.
I'm Kiana Houston.
And today we're going to be talking about Week 4 Virtual High School. What Kiana's been doing in Week 4 and what we've been doing in our walks.
Yes, and if you haven't seen our other virtual high school videos, I would suggest that you go check them out before you watch this one so you kind of know what's going on.
Here I am where the movie started, facing at a photo they've taken. Space tree flying through the skies and battles happen.
Okay, we missed 3 days last week of our walks
It's his fault.
it was my fault because I was taking a course I was getting my John Maxwell team member certification so that I can teach the John Maxwell courses. And one of the courses I'll be teaching is the 15 Laws of Growth. And we'll talk about that later in the video. So we missed 3 days, but it was my fault, but we'll get through it. But we still have some stuff to talk about, right, Kiana?
Yes, we do.
Okay. So Kiana and I went out on a normal walk, and we talked about what's going on in virtual high school. So you can go ahead, Kiana. What's going on in virtual high school this week?
The tests and quizzes are a little bit different because the classes that need or that have more lecture time, they're a little bit harder to study for a little bit. So I've noticed that, and the tests and quizzes for the classes that you can kind of just practice the problems and kind of go over it and reread it again, they're a little bit easier. So I've kind of noticed that little tip. Social interaction with my classmates is still kind of weird. It's not, just like a normal thing that you kind of do in Zoom.
What do they try to get you to do? Do they try to get you guys to pair up or something?
Yeah, they kind of put us into like little breakout rooms in Zoom,
okay.
and
I remember that.
it's just kind of you're just sitting there like, so is anybody gonna say it? Okay, and then someone just has to say something, so that's still kind of weird. The last thing is I find that I'm adapting a lot quicker than I was anticipating to my teachers and how they teach. So that's pretty cool because I'm not struggling to try and figure out how they teach and kind of using that excuse to not do homework or,
There is no not doing homework.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's a lot easier instead of just struggling to understand how they teach and what they're going to do.
So on our walks, we did get to go on a few walks this week, and Kiana asked me a strange question.
Was it that strange?
Well, I guess it was strange for a 14-year-old just to, out of the blue, ask a question. She said, Dad, if I was working, let's say if I was in college, and let's say if I had a part-time job, okay, I'm liking this already, right? If I had a part-time job, and let's say I was making $10 an hour, would I have to pay taxes? I said, yeah, you'd have to pay taxes. Nobody gets away. There's a small, if you make less than a certain amount, you don't have to pay. But for the most part, I want her to understand that, yes, you have to pay taxes. And then I went into, what does that mean? She said, so what does that mean I have to pay taxes? Because what did you think about paying taxes? You think that's pretty cool?
No. No, I really don't. But I do know that there is a reason for that, but I don't think it's like a trend. No.
So I explained to her that, let's say Social Security, that's a tax that would come out. Your federal income tax, that's a tax that would come out of your check. So let's say if you were making $10 an hour and you worked 40 hours for that week, you wouldn't just get a $400 check because that 6% in Social Security tax would come out. They take out another 10 to 15% in regular federal taxes. They'll probably take out your dental if you have some type of health care. They'll take that out. So that $400 check would probably end up being about $320. And when I told Kiana that, she said,
that's just not even right.
That's the real world.
Yeah, I was baffled.
Right.
I was baffled. I was like, how? So they just take it before I even can touch it. Just not even nothing.
Yeah, that's right. They take it. But I said, don't worry about that. I said, never stress over taxes. I said, if you're worried about them taking that money out, just make more money and then don't worry about it. Because taxes are used for different things. Taxes are used for our schools. Taxes are used for our roads. Taxes are used for, some people who are less fortunate, for programs for them. Medicaid and medical attention for certain people. Taxes are taken out for that. So the taxes are being used, and if the difference between worrying about taxes and worrying about what they're doing with them, if you want to really worry about what they're doing with taxes, there's only two things you can do. Number one is you can vote. The second thing you can do is become a politician. That's it. Those are the only two things you can do. So don't stress over them. Because my dad would always say, hard work won't kill you, but stress will. So next, we talked about changing our morning workouts. Because, I don't know, she's saying that, hey, Dad, you know what? I want to, do something a little more strenuous in the morning. I said, great. Because understand, the workouts are not designed for us, right? The workouts are designed to get your blood going in the morning or get your cardio going in the morning. But what they're really designed for is to build a habit of getting up every morning and doing something just a little bit strenuous. If you want to do something more, that's fine. So she said, well, can we change the workout? I said, sure. I said, what do you want to change it to? And go ahead and tell them what you changed it to.
So I changed it to running instead of just walking because I am a 14-year-old and I need cardio, a lot of it. So I decided to do running, and now I run 1.5 miles every morning, and then I do some other exercises after and then stretch. So that kind of gives me a little bit more than just walking and then getting dressed in the morning.
Correct. What I do is I still walk my 4 miles like I do every morning. And then what I do is I do my sit-ups, push-ups. Sometimes I do pull-ups. I do dips. Now I walk around, instead of walking to the beach, I walk around the little track that's in the park right across the street from my house. And they have these little stations where you can stop and do different exercises. So that's what I do. And I finish up with my sit-ups and push-ups when I get home. So she works out now probably about 45 minutes. I still work out for about 1 hour and 20 minutes. So we both still get our workouts in the morning. But what we'll have to do is we'll have to definitely make sure how we can have still that morning conversation, or it'll probably be an afternoon conversation now, so that we can not only make these videos, but so that I can continue to guide her on the path of success.
Yay! Speaking of success, would you like to tell the people our next topic?
Yeah, we could talk about life lessons. So on one of our walks, we were almost done, right? We were on our way, made the last right, going to our house. And Kiana said, we were talking about speaking in front of people. And I was telling Kiana that it's not that difficult, right? I said, if you can practice, if you can focus on practice and focus on, writing your script down of what you're going to say, because that's the two things that scare people the most. Number one, hey, what am I going to say? I might forget. Okay. And number two is I haven't practiced enough. So if you do those two things, if you write down what you're going to say, number one, and number two, practice over and over again, then you won't be afraid of speaking in front of people. And she was like, man, Dad, you should start writing some of this stuff down. And I said, listen, that's why we're doing these videos, so that you can look back at these videos and kind of talk about these, or look back at them and use them in your life. These are the life lessons. And one of the life lessons that we talked about after that was, what's more important than formal education? So what is more important than formal education?
So the thing that is most important than formal education is personal development.
Personal development. You need both, right?
Yeah.
So you need your education from school, from college. You need that. So I'm not, of course I have a few degrees, so I'm not saying you don't need those. You definitely need those. But what you need even more is personal growth and personal development. So our walks, that's what we do. We kind of talk about what's going on in school, but we don't go over, we're not studying for tests when we're on our walks talking. What we're doing is we're talking about some of the real life stuff that she'll have to go through. So personal development is very big in our household, and personal development will be very big in Kiana's life moving forward. I'll be teaching the 15 laws of growth to some of the supervisors that work in my organization. So we'll be doing that, and I'll also be teaching that to Kiana. Surprise! Surprise!
Oh my gosh! I was not expecting this. No, don't do this to me.
Okay, yeah. Next slide. In this video, we've talked about the new observations in virtual high school.
We talked about taxes.
She loves taxes.
I love taxes.
We talked about changing the morning workouts and life lessons.
And we talked about a question. What's more important than formal education?
Which is personal growth, personal development. So, we've had a great time. My name is Christopher Houston.
I'm Kiana Houston.
Thank you very much. Good night and God bless.
Here I am where the movie started, facing at a photo they've taken. Space tree flying through the skies and petals happen.